Hello, good morning, everybody. This is Dr. G.K. Kapoor, former professor, business and corporate laws, International Management Institute, that is IMI, New Delhi. Still earlier, Principal Shahid Bhagat Singh College, and still earlier, Deputy Director, Studies, particularly law, as well as Secretary to the Company Law Committee of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India. Today I am going to speak on a very important subject. This is important not only for the students of the business law, but also for the common man. I speak on making of an agreement or a contract. What are the issues that should be taken care of? Do you know that except where the law requires the agreement to be in writing, or sometimes law also requires the agreement to be registered, the agreement could well be done orally as well, and it shall be as binding as any written agreement. But the problem essentially is if you enter into an oral agreement, then in the event of a dispute, proving the terms of the agreement becomes a very challenging issue. So, unless one had some witness or witnesses to those terms of the agreement, it may virtually be impossible to establish in the court of law. So, it is certainly advisable to enter into a written agreement. Now, before I talk about as to what precautions should be taken while drafting or signing an agreement, let's look into the following two situations. Number one, say you happen to buy a bottle of cold drink, and before you have actually opened it, you find fungus settled underneath on the bottom of the bottle. Now, what are you going to do? Where will you go? I introduce this subject to my students with this particular example and one more, which I shall be placing before you also. Now, when I ask them, what will you do? Where will you go? Majority of them reply that they will go back to the dealer and get the bottle exchanged for another fresh one without being fungus infested. Some will say that we shall approach the consumer court. The others will say we shall approach the customer care cell, and so on. I am going to tell you that what a lady, a lecturer with a college of University of Delhi had done in this particular case, because she actually narrated me this incident having happened with her once. She said that she preferred to approach the bottling plant manager, and she told the branch manager of the bottling plant that in case she was not provided with an appropriate solution relief, she will go to the consumer court. She gave a period of 10 days for providing her the relief. She said before even a week had passed, somebody, a sales rep from that popular bottling company, cold drink company, approached her and offered 24 filled crates of that cold drink. I said, "What did you do?" She said, "I demanded a 48." Then she said, "They refused to give me 48 filled crates." The rep said that, "Madam, look, if you want 24 crates and you want to settle the matter, here we shall, place before you those 24 filled crates. We have already come loaded with that. But if you insist for 48, extremely sorry, then do whatever you want to do." Now, she had actually narrated this anecdote to me in one of the lectures I was addressing at YMCA on consumer protection. Now, what really happened thereafter, I do not know. I did not really check the facts with her. Anyways, what will you do or what we should do? We shall come to this a little later. Let us look at the second situation where it happens to be a decided case. Say, or rather I'll say a person happened to buy a bottle of newly introduced jam. I will not name the company. It was a big consumer products company which had come in competition with another multinational in producing jams, which they claimed contained fruit bits. That means they had not crushed the fruits entirely, rather kept the small pieces of the fruits also in the jam. The person who happened to buy it, before opening the bottle, found a dead house fly in it. Now, if supposing you were that consumer, what would have you done in this particular case? Again, the answers probably will be similar to the ones which were given to me by my students normally, as we have referred to in the first case. But this person preferred to approach the consumer forum. And the consumer forum awarded a compensation of rupees 10,000. It's a pretty old case. Multiplying this 10,000 with the rate of inflation, the minimum amount that would probably be awarded today by a consumer court will not be less than 1 lakh of rupees. So, what are you waiting for? Buy a bottle of jam and look for a dead housefly in it. Maybe it's worth rupees 1 lakh at least. But the company protested. The company's lawyer disputed this award of 10,000 rupees, saying that since the bottle had not even been opened, the buyer, the consumer, had not been harmed, and therefore the only compensation that could be payable to the buyer consumer was actually replacement by a fresh bottle of jam of a different batch, of course. And they were prepared to offer, say, 10, 20 bottles of jams in replacement. But the court said that, look, the very fact that the bottle is not opened is a testimony to the fact that there exist certain unhygienic conditions in your manufacturing plant. Had the bottle been opened, you would have never accepted. You would have said that this is the handiwork of the competitors to get us a bad name. So the very fact the bottle is not open, you must pay the consumer an amount of rupees 10,000 as the compensation. Now, these are the two examples which you find suggest to you that in the event of a defective product, you have various alternative fora to approach. Now, which forum will you like to choose? It depends upon variety of factors. Because if you prefer to approach the court to settle such disputes, maybe you will be awarded a good amount of compensation, but then you have to have a lot of patience, because these kinds of reliefs take quite a lot of time. The courts do take a lot of time. Even the consumer courts, which are time bound to deliver the judgments, now they have been, instead of months, they have been taking years in offering the relief. So one should try to settle the dispute as amicably as possible, and approaching the court should be an alternative to be pursued either in public interest, or it could well be that the amount of the goods, the value of the goods involved is pretty high. In any case, the decision is yours. Now, if one were to choose to go to court, the various alternatives which may be available under the law will include approaching a civil court, that is, filing a civil suit under the Indian Contract Act 1872. The second alternative is to once again file a civil suit, but under the Sale of Goods Act 1930. Or one could approach the court under Prevention of Food Adulteration Act 1954. Or a more speedier, alternative is to approach the consumer court. But remember, forum shopping is not allowed in India. That is, you cannot file the case or complaint in multiple fora. or if you lose in one, you cannot go to the other forum but only appeal to the higher authority. In case of a written agreement, besides specific clauses, the following two clauses must be made part of every agreement. The first is the arbitration clause. There is no need to enter into a separate arbitration agreement. As per the Arbitration and Conciliation Act 1996, as amended in 2021, arbitration clause in an agreement is sufficient. However, care must be exercised in drafting this arbitration clause. One must include details like a. Whether reference shall be made to the sole, that is, one arbitrator, or more than one arbitrators. In case reference is to be made to more than one arbitrators, then it must be made to an odd number, say 3 arbitrators. Where reference is to be made to 3 arbitrators, 2 of the arbitrators shall be supplied by each, one by each party called, the one will be supplied by the 2 arbitrators called the presiding arbitrator. B. If reference is to be made to a sole arbitrator, then who shall have the right to name the arbitrator should also be specified. In case of service agreements, the right to appoint is reserved by the employer himself. Quite naturally, the employee at that time does not have any say. As a matter of fact, in most of the situations, almost every situation, the employee has to sign on the dotted lines. He may not even be given the opportunity to go through the terms of that service agreement. C. The language in which the arbitration proceedings will take place should be clearly indicated. And next, D. The place where the proceedings will take place, and so on. Another clause that must be included in a written agreement is a force majeure clause. That is, in the event of subsequent impossibility, that is, an impossibility in the performance of the agreement having been introduced after entering into the agreement, parties will be relieved of their obligation to perform. But care once again must be taken to see that the clause is drawn in a detailed manner to exclude liability on all grounds where performance is likely to be affected or delayed. In case of, say, an airways company, delay due to traffic congestion at the airport or airspace, non-reporting of the staff on time due to traffic jam on the road cancellation because of insufficient passenger bookings, that is, commercially the flight is not viable. Sudden band call. In India, it is not very uncommon that a sudden band call is given. I even experienced that in Sydney, Australia. We were returning back, and the flight was a flight connecting to our flight from Singapore. So we were flying from Sydney to Singapore. We had been seated in the aircraft for a pretty long time when we were communicated that the porters, they had, porters, I mean the loaders, now they had gone on a lightning strike. So they had refused to load our, uh, you know, what should I say, our luggage. So it's not only in India, but these kinds of lightning strikes or the band call, which I do not know, is quite peculiar to India. And if I may mention, in Kerala, this happens to be quite a regular kind of feature. We had to once face it, but Keralites are very, very sensible and cooperative. We were returning back from Kerala and we had the flight to catch when we learned that there was a total band. But no tourist taxis will be stopped. So they are the educated stuff. So they did not put the tourists to any inconvenience, and we were able to report for our flight on time. But in other places, in case of Band, the entire traffic may be stopped, including the personal cars. In fact, these kinds of bunds very often become violent also. So if the staff is not able to reach on duty, or maybe even passengers are not able to report on duty, it might justify the cancellation of the flight. Similarly, where the aeroplane has been hit by a bird and thereby is damaged. Excuse me. So in such a situation, quite naturally, the aircraft will have to land and will have to be sent for repairs. And accordingly, the flight might be delayed or even cancelled. Similarly, the late arrival of the aircraft, because what happens is the same aircraft returns back from a flight and then leaves for another destination, or the destination where from it has actually arrived. So it is a sort of hopping for the aircrafts. So if there is a late arrival of the incoming flight, the outgoing flight might well also be delayed, and this will certainly be beyond the control of the airlines people. So in situations like these, the airlines will be exonerated and will not be liable to pay any compensation to the passengers. But I have had a personal experience with at least one airline, that is the Indigo. I was returning back from Dehradun, and the aircraft from Delhi had landed very, very late, was getting delayed, and finally landed very, very late. In the meantime, we were served first the snacks, burgers, and later on the proper dinner. Now, this kind of treatment is a courtesy which may well be offered by an airlines, but not mandatory. Don't expect that. If they do not, you cannot create a hangama on the airport. You have no rights. Thanks for watching. Hope you find the video useful. Now wait for your feedback. Bye till we meet in the next video. I shall continue to talk on agreement or contract. In fact, I plan to record a series of lectures, short, brief lectures on the Indian Contract Act. Thank you very much.